Hello guys, how are you? And welcome to a new music class with Miguel. Today, we're going to learn about triads. Okay, so what is a triad, you might be asking? Easy. As you should remember, or as you should know, chords are formed when you play more than two notes at the same time. So if I play the guitar, this is one note. If I play more than two notes, I have a chord. Okay, so you can play chords with 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes, 6 notes, etc. You can have as many chords as any notes you can play on any instrument. It can be the piano, it can be the guitar, etc. Now, triads are very specific types of chords that are only made out of 3 notes. So every time you play a chord made of 3 notes, that chord is called a triad. Okay, as you can see in the name triad, you have the tri, tri, that means 3. So triads are chords made of only 3 notes. Moving on. So let's say, for example, that you have the C major scale here in red. Okay, every note in red is going to be the note of the C major scale. You have C, D, E, F, G, A, and finally B. What you're going to do, here you have the notes of the C major scale. To make triads out of every note that we have, we simply are going to stack 2 more notes on top of each note of the C major scale. How are you going to do that? Well, if you look at the staff and you look at the C right here, C is on this ledger line. Ledger line are additional lines that we add to the staff. So if we have here the C on this ledger line, the next note will be on the next line. Here you can see it on the first line of the staff. And then the next note is going to be on the next line of the staff, which is right here on the second line. If the first note is on the space, for example here the D, then the next note of the triad will be in the next space, and the next note of the triad will be in the next space. And we do the same thing for all notes of the C major scale, and we have formed triads. That is in the staff. If we do it with letters, only with letters, what we're going to do is simply this. If we begin with C, what are the notes that are going to be part of the triad made from C? We simply skip a letter. So we skip D and we go to E. That's going to be the second note of the triad. And then we go from E, we skip F, and we are in G. Okay, so then we have the 3 notes of the triad made from C, C, E, and G. We do the same thing from all the notes. So from D, we skip a line, we skip a note, a letter, and we are in F, and then we skip a note and we are in A. From E, we skip a note and we are in G, and then we skip a note and we are in B, and so on and so forth. So if we do that, we have that the notes of all the triads are going to be this. From C, you have C, E, G. From D, you have D, F, A. From E, you have E, G, B. From F, you have F, A, C. From G, you have G, B, D. From A, you have A, C, E. And from B, you have B, D, F. Now, let's take, for example, the last one, B. If we skip a note, if we skip a letter, well, we don't have any more letters, but we know that after C, we have D. So that will be the next note from B. Okay, B, we skip C, and we are in D. And from D, we are in F. That's how we get B, D, F. Okay, same thing with A, C, E. We begin here, we skip a note, and we are in C. And then from C, since we don't have any notes here, we go to the C right here, and we skip a note, and we are in E. A, C, E. Okay, so there we have all the notes that you have for all the triads made from every note of the C major scale. Now it's very important that you know how to make the C major scale or any other major scale, because if you know how to make all the notes of the major scales, you can build triads over all of those. Okay, so now we have the Roman numeral analysis. Now this is like a short lesson that you need, and this is this. Arabic numerals are used to refer to individual notes, and Roman numerals are used to refer to chords and triads. So Arabic numerals are simply the numbers that you know already that you've been using your entire life. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All these right here. But every Arabic numeral has an equivalent in Roman numerals. Okay, so you get that 1 is this capital I, 2 is this two capital I's, 3 is 3 capital I's, 4 is a capital I and a V, 5 is capital V, 6 is capital V and capital I, and 7 is capital V and 2 capital I's. Those are the Roman numerals equivalent to the Arabic numerals from 1 to 7. How is this important and how are we going to use it? Simply because when we talk about chords in music, we're going to be using Roman numerals. When we talk about individual notes, we're going to be using Arabic numerals. But for chords, it's Roman numerals. Okay? So major triads or major chords will use uppercase Roman numerals, like capital letters. Okay? But minor triads or minor chords will use lowercase Roman numerals. So for example, if we want to talk about a major chord, for example this, we can use these capital letters, I, V. But if we want to make a Roman numeral for a minor chord, we use lowercase, like this 3 lowercase i's or this lowercase v with lowercase I. Every time you see a Roman numeral in capital letters, you know it's a major chord. Every time we use a Roman numeral in lowercase, it's going to be a minor chord. Okay? Moving on. Continuing with this Roman numeral analysis, okay, here you have the triads of the major scale. Again, we have all the triads that are formed from every note of the major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. If we form them, you will know, and well, not only you will know, but it's like that. It's like a rule. Always the chord that is made on the first note of the scale is going to be a major chord, okay? When we label a major chord, we only label it with the letter. We don't need to state that it's major. If I see this as a chord, I should expect it to be major because it has nothing there to explain that it's major. But if it's minor, you have to include a lowercase m. You can also include a minus sign, okay? Or you can put min, like min, okay? I prefer to use the lowercase m because for me it's always been like that. You can use the same thing. So all the chords that are made, the chord that it's made on the first note of the scale is going to be major. The chord that you make on the second note of the scale is going to be minor. The one you make on the third note of the scale is going to be minor. The one that you make on the fourth note of the scale is going to be major. The one made on the fifth note is going to be major. The one on the sixth chord is going to be minor. And the one made on the seventh chord, the seventh note, is going to be diminished. You don't need to understand why they are diminished, why they are major, why they are minor. That's not for now. The only thing you need to understand is that in every major scale, the first chord, the fourth, and the fifth chord will be major. The second, the third, and the sixth will be minor, and the seventh will be diminished. How do you state the diminished? With simply this little circle put on the right of the letter, okay? And with the Roman numerals is the lowercase, okay, lowercase v, lowercase I, with this little circle in the end. That's the way you label a diminished chord, okay? Again, you don't need to know what's a diminished chord. It's not for now. So, as I said, major triads of the major scale are going to be 1, 4, and 5. Here you have 1, 4, and 5 with capital letters. The minor triads are going to be 2, 3, and 6 with lowercase Roman numerals. And the diminished triads is only going to be 1, the 7th, okay? Lowercase with the little circle on the right, okay? Very important that you understand and remember, this is the golden rule and it will never change in any major scale. It doesn't matter what major scale you're using, this will always be true. 1, 4, and 5 will always be major in every major key or every major scale. Likewise, 2, 3, and 6 will always be minor in every major key or every major scale. And as you may have already figured it out, 7 diminished will always be diminished in every major key or major scale. So if we take out any major scale there is, okay, let's see, for example, before that, it's very important that you memorize these triads. Not for now, but for the next time we see music theory, we are going to do some activities with these triads, and then you will have to remember them and memorize them, okay? If you know these triads by heart, you will be able to construct any major, minor, diminished, or augmented triad starting from any note, okay? But don't worry for now, that's for another class. Just have in mind that at one point in the next maybe 4 or 5 weeks, you will have to memorize these triads, which is not very hard, but just be ready for it. So we're going to do some examples right now of major triads. Now here we have some triads made out from what scale? Okay, let's see if you can figure it out. How do you know? Just figure out the first note right here. This note is going to give us the key or the major scale we are using. So if we see this note right here, it's a D. So this is going to be all the triads of the D major scale. So what we simply do, if you know how to construct a D major scale, you will know that after you have done it, you will know that D major has 2 sharps, F right here and C right here. So what we simply do is that we will put sharps after you construct the triads, after you put, like I said in the first slide, okay, if you begin here, you put the other note on the next space and the next space. If you do that for all the notes of the D major scale, you will have to fill in all the sharps necessary. So for example, here you know that F and C are going to be sharp in D major. And you see that on the first triad, right here, you have an F. So this F will have to be sharp. Then on the third chord, you have obviously F, and then you have C right here. So this C will have to be sharp. Same thing here. On the fifth chord, you have this C, so this will be sharp. On the sixth chord, this is F. The fifth line of the staff is going to be F, so this F will be sharp as well. And finally here, on the seventh chord of the major scale, you have C, so that C is going to be sharp. So you have to sharp all the Fs and all the Cs you see in any of these triads. So the D major scale has 2 sharps, but in the end, when you fill in all the other notes made from the triads, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 sharps in total, counting all the Fs and all the Cs. Okay, so you have constructed then all the 7 triads of the D major scale. Okay, and as I said before, all the chords, all the triads made in the 1 note, the 4 and the 5 will be major. Okay, so they will be with capital letter Roman numerals. Okay, and the labeling of the chord is simply, in this case, D. Okay, we don't have to specify major. If we put this as a chord D, you should understand that it's a major chord. Same thing with G, same thing with A. And again, like I said in the previous slide, chords 2, 3, and 6 are going to be minor. Here we put the M of minor. And then the 7th chord will be a diminished. So in this case, it's C sharp diminished. We put the little circle in the end that is gonna make it diminished. And here, the lowercase Roman numerals for 7 with the little circle on the right. Okay, So again, even if it's D major, another scale, not C major, the chords remain the same. 1, 4, and 5 are major, 2, 3, and 6 are minor, and 7 is diminished. Okay? Let's do another example with another major scale. This one is E. How do you know it's E major scale? Because here, the first note that you see here on the staff is E. How many sharps does E have? Well, you should know that it's going to be F right here. It's going to be G, and it's going to be C, and it's going to be D. So E major has 4 sharps, okay? Again, E major has 4 sharps, F, G, C, and D. So when we construct the triads on the staff, we simply fill in and we put all those sharps in all those notes that we find. For example, here on the first chord, on the first triad of the major scale, you have this G, so G goes sharp. On the second one, we have F and C, so both of them are sharped. On the third note, on the third chord, third triad, we have G and we have D, so both of them will be sharp. Then on the fourth triad, we have this C, which is also going to be sharped. Then on the fifth triad, we have D and you have F. Both of them will be sharp. On the sixth chord, you have C and G. Both of them will be sharp. And then finally, on the seventh triad of the major scale, you have the D and you have the F. It's very important that you know the notes on the staff, even the ones that are outside the staff. For example, this G. If you don't remember that this is G, you will not be able to put the sharp right here, and that will count as a mistake. So be sure to know all the notes of the staff. Okay, and as I did before, here we have the chords made in the 1, 4, and 5 are going to be major. In this case, it's going to be E, E major, A major, and B major. Numbers 2, 3, and 6 will be minor. F sharp minor, G sharp minor, and C sharp minor. Okay, and the last one, the one made on D sharp, is going to be diminished. So this chord is going to be D sharp diminished, and we have here the lowercase 7 with the diminished symbol. Okay, the little circle on the right. Okay, don't forget that when you label the chord here, for example, this F sharp minor, you must include the sharp. Okay, because if you don't put the sharp, it will say F minor. And this is not F minor because the first note of the triad is going to be F sharp. So it cannot be F minor. It has to be F sharp minor. Okay? So these are 2 examples. So far we have seen 3 examples. C major, then D major right here, and E major. Now, the task for you is going to be, now that you have seen how we did it for the C major scale, for the D major scale, and for the E major scale, you're going to do the same thing, but with these other keys. So your task is to do the same for the keys of F major. Remember, F major has 1 flat, G major, and A major. Okay? So the same thing we did right here. Let me go back. The same thing we did here for D major and E major, you have to do for F major, G major, and A major. Exactly like this. You have to draw the staff. You have to put the notes of the triads in the correct place, because some people can make a mistake. If you don't know the notes of the staff, have that information right beside you so you can place the notes correctly on the staff. After you have put all the triads on the staff with the correct sharps or flats, you have to label each chord like this. And this, if it's major, you only put the letter, the capital letter. If it's minor, you put the capital letter of the note with the M. If it's sharp, put the sharp. And if it's diminished, put the little circle on the right. Okay? And then after you have labeled every chord, you put the Roman numerals, okay? Which is going to be easy because in every case, the Roman numerals will stay the same. Again, 1, 4, and 5 are going to be major, capital letters. 2, 3, and 6 are going to be lowercase, minor. And then the 7th is going to be diminished, lowercase with little circle. So exactly like this slide, you have to do it for F major, G major, and A major. Let me go back to the task right here. Okay, so let me just write it again. Your task is to now do the same thing for the keys of F major, G major, and A major. Do this on a piece of paper. Draw the staffs, just in case. This staffs with VES is the plural of staff. Draw the notes, label the chords, for example, C sharp minor, and finally put the Roman numeral analysis, just like it was done in slide 8 of this PowerPoint presentation. When you're done, take a good picture of it so I'm able to read it, or scan it and upload it to the assignment in Schoology. Now, very important, I will also consider presentation when grading the task. I don't want you to draw the staff just by hand. Use a ruler. Know that I'm giving you the warning. Use a ruler. If you can use more than one color, go ahead. Okay, just make it look organized and in order. Okay, if it's not a good presentation, I will take off points for it. Okay, you have been warned. Okay, so then you have to take a picture of it or scan it and upload it to Schoology. Okay, now there are more keys we could use, but we'll do those on our live session when we that will be on Tuesday of the following week. Okay, so that's going to be your task. If you have any questions, don't forget to email me, and I wish you the best. I hope you have fun, and I will see you at on our next class. Bye bye.